I'd like to refer to myself as someone who has spent a couple of days in the event planning industry. And as such, there are a couple of things I could tell you for free in the event planning industry. So I'd like to title this video, 3 Mistakes You Should Never Make as an Event Planner. My name is Midex, and as always, I am your host on this channel. So today we would be considering 3 mistakes you should never make as an event planner. Before we go into that, what exactly does an event planner do? An event planner is someone that makes sure that your event runs smoothly and seamlessly. They see to it that the aim of every event is met. To foresee any contingencies that might happen. We all know that planning an event is one big task. And event planners see to it that the aim of every event is met. Quickly, before we go into 3 mistakes an event planner should never make, let us consider why we need to plan our events. Without proper plans in place during an event, you might see things going south, and then you see some guests leaving during the event, and some even promise never to return to future events. Hence, you need to properly plan that event. Now let's get into 3 things you should never do as an event planner. Number 1 being overworking yourself. As an event planner, it is quite understandable that the success of the event lies on your shoulders. But it would be your greatest mistake to overwork yourself. Delegate tasks based on roles and abilities of your workers. Employ as many hands as possible. If you see that your staff are struggling to keep up with the workload, it is advisable to employ more hands, bring more hands on deck. Make sure you find time yourself to rest during the whole event planning process. If you feel overwhelmed, you can take a step back and take the much needed rest. Make sure you have more than enough workers on ground to jump on tasks and take up extra tasks if need be. You definitely cannot run a whole event by yourself. Employ people, put more hands on deck, outline roles to each and every one of them. Assign secondary tasks if need be. Just make sure that you're not doing all of this by yourself. Number 2 mistake you should never make as an event planner is not confirming with your vendors before the event. You see, most of the time I usually say that humans, adults generally, we are the most difficult set of people to deal with. It can be intentional and unintentional, depending. However, you need to confirm with your vendors before, during, and even after the event. Confirm a month to the event, 2 weeks to the event, 2 days to the event. In fact, very early on the day of the event, please confirm with your vendors. So many things can go wrong. Sometimes things might go wrong on the part of your vendor, and they might not communicate to you. Why? Because you're out of touch. So please try as much as you can as an event planner to confirm with all your vendors. There are a whole lot of things you need to check with them. It might be their arrival time, the date of the event, because yes, some people will tell you they forgot. Things you agreed on, yes, your invoice, send pictures. This was what we agreed to do. This is what you're bringing. Are you sure you're getting this? Double check. It is never too much. Lastly, on this note, we have budgeting and contingency. Budgeting in event planning is one big management course one needs to take while taking event planning process. Because, when planning your event, so many things come up. Changes happen, contingencies and all of that. Make sure your budget is wide enough to take contingency plan. And as an event planner, if you don't have contingency funds in your budget, you're planning to fail. Take it upon yourself to have a particular percentage of the budget set out for contingencies. Aside that, make sure you're in constant communication with your team. This helps you reduce spending stress. Schedule meetings often and put a system in place to help you track your spending. If anything ever goes wrong and you need to make changes, do not make changes blindly. Make sure you communicate with every member of the team. Make sure everyone is on board about the changes you need to make, thereby coming together so as to make a wise decision and reduce costs. Like I said earlier on, as an event planner, without contingency fees, you're planning to fail. These are three things you should never do as an event planner. Please note that the don'ts of an event planner are not limited to just these three, but I think these three tops might be. So if there's any other thing you think we should never do as an event planner, please drop them in the comment section. I'll be waiting to read and hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and please, if you're yet to subscribe, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.